All right, what's going on YouTube? I was waiting for Amir Khan to actually make like an official statement on why he's leaving Al Heyman. Okay, he's parted ways with him, and we haven't heard anything. And if there's any reports out there on why he officially left Al Heyman, please drop a comment with a link, or something, an article or whatever. That'll be cool. But for now, I'm gonna assume that the reason why he left Al Heyman is because he didn't get the Floyd Mayweather fight, which is probably the reason why he got close to Al Heyman in the first place, because he thought being with Al Heyman would better his chances of getting a fight with Floyd Mayweather. And part of the reason why he's leaving Al Heyman too is because now he wants to go after the second biggest fighter in boxing, who is Manny Pacquiao, a fighter that's with Top Rank. And I don't really need to explain why Top Rank and Al Heyman, is better. His chances of probably getting a fight is if he's not with Al Heyman. Now, I'm making this video because I see how he moves. Okay, this is not a I hate Amir Khan video, because I do believe that Amir Khan was a better opponent for Floyd than Andre Berto. Okay, I've said on here plenty of times that I thought Amir Khan would be a tough fight for Floyd, and he's just a fight I've always wanted to see, regardless of his antics outside of the ring, which is basically saying something ridiculous in every interview that he's in. He's a really good fighter, in my opinion. All right, I think if he didn't have such a weak chin, he would be a very, very, very dominant fighter. But now, as far as the Manny Pacquiao thing, Amir Khan is just trying to go after the best fighter, and I can't be mad at that. Boxing is a crazy sport, business wise. It could be dirty at times. Nothing is really fair in the sport of boxing. Okay, not everybody gets the same opportunities that others get. Okay. With that being said, Amir Khan is an opportunist. He's just he's just trying to make the moves in order to get the biggest fight for him. Okay. It's benefited him in some ways, and it's slowed him down in others, and that's because he's always trying to take shortcuts, in my opinion. He's fighting good fighters, but he's fighting safe fighters at the same time. I think he cherry picks his fights. I really do. And this part of the reason on why he hasn't locked down the fights that he's wanted. The Floyd fight, I think he was really close to getting that fight. I think he was. But there's plenty of people that still feel that that was a cherry pick fight for Floyd Mayweather. A lot of people feel that way. I mean, we're all mad at Andre Berto now, but before Andre Berto's name came up and Kareem Mayfield's name came up, a lot of people felt that Amir Khan was an easy fight for Floyd. If we look at it for the last 2 years since Khan has really been calling out Floyd Mayweather, we all thought, not we all, but a lot of us felt that that was a cherry pick fight for Floyd, that Khan has a glass jaw and Floyd was going to knock him out. All he has is hand speed. He's been knocked out by this guy. He's been dropped by Julio Diaz. Most people felt that was a cherry pick fight for Floyd. Now, Khan is basically doing this. Well, if I didn't get the fight with Floyd, I'm going to try to get the fight with Pacquiao. Now, let me mention Kell Brook's name. Let me put his name out there because, let me entertain a fight at Wembley, because if I don't get the Pacquiao fight, then that's my next biggest fight, because he probably would really make the most money fighting Kell Brook at Wembley. More so than a Floyd Mayweather fight, more so than Pacquiao, but there's more fame involved with those fights. But it's really more than that. It's more than that. I think Khan don't want to get involved in any fights that he can possibly lose. He doesn't want to get derailed from fighting a Pacquiao or a Floyd, especially if Floyd don't retire. He's going to go right back to trying to get the fight with Floyd. If he doesn't get the fight with Pacquiao right away because Pacquiao wants an easy touch for his first fight back, coming off of a loss, coming off of a shoulder injury, he's still going to want to set something up that's good for him and meaningful for him. And the reason why he hasn't fought a Kell Brook or Keith Thurman is because those guys are not as famous and they're dangerous. Okay, these are guys that can possibly knock him out. And this is why he's fighting guys like Chris Algieri, Devin Alexander, Louis Collazo, all good fighters. But not all of them, none of them really has the reputation of being a knockout artist. And even though they're good fighters and they're top, well, not Algieri, but Collazo coming off of the win against Ortiz, it looked good to some. And then Devin Alexander, who is a former IBF champion, he has a lot more credibility at welterweight than a Collazo. He felt like that was a good opportunity. But if we really look at the opponents, none of them have big power, And if you fight a guy like a Brook or Keith Thurman, those are fighters that can actually, you might win, but if they knock you out, they knock you out. Like, they have a better shot of knocking you out than those other three guys I just mentioned. So the reason why he didn't take those fights at this point, because Thurman has been calling him out, and there's been opportunities for Khan to take the fight. The reason why those fights didn't happen is because he wants to get the Floyd Mayweather fight for number one, but for number two, those guys can actually slow him down from getting that fight, especially if he end up losing another fight. He doesn't want to lose any fights. And this is why he didn't take the Devin Alexander fight back in 2013, because he knew back then, like, all right, this is a tough fight. If I lose to Devin Alexander or not look impressive, I might not get the fight with Floyd in 2014. So he just skipped over the Devin Alexander fight. He went on a long period of time of not fighting. And then once he didn't get the Floyd Mayweather fight because Maidana got it, because he beat Adrian Broner, that's when he went on and said, all right, well, give me that's when he went on and fought Collazo, okay? And then he fought Alexander, hoping he'd get the fight with Floyd. And then when Floyd fought Pacquiao, he's like, all right, well, maybe I'll get the September fight. I'll just go and fight a Chris Algieri. He's an opportunist, and he's cherry picking. He is cherry picking, He's a good fighter, but he's cherry picking. He's cherry picking. That's the reality of it. And if he doesn't get a fight, that's why he's jumping ship now, because the fight didn't work out with Al Haymon. Okay, then we go over now and try to get the fight with Pacquiao. If the Pacquiao fight doesn't work out, I'm going to get Kell Brook. Now I'll fight Kell Brook. But, he's saying things like, well, Kell Brook needs to, fight a bigger name. And Kell Brook is now doing the same. I just made a video about Kell Brook and Diego Chavez. Kell Brook is pretty much doing the same thing that Amir Khan is doing, because he wants to fight with Khan. And he's taking these soft touches. He's not fighting the Thurmans. He's not giving Porter a rematch. He's not fighting Tim Bradley. He's not fighting tough fights, And I feel like he's doing the same thing now. And they're all doing it, A lot of these fighters are doing it. But at the same time, it's like, all right, so why do you feel like you're deserving of the fight? Who have you beaten in order to lock that fight with Floyd? Where we can't make it a debatable fight. Like, if you had fought Keith Thurman, or if Keith Thurman had fought Amir Khan, the winner of that fight deserves a shot at Floyd, But now you leaving it where some people feel Amir Khan should get the fight. Some people feel Thurman should get it. Some people feel Porter should get it. Some people feel Kell Brook should get it. Bradley, Triple G, Lara, Andre. There's so many names out there. Not one of them has really done enough in order to beat the other option out. Now that Floyd went and fought Pacquiao, who deserved it more than Manny Pacquiao? None of these fighters right now, regardless of who Floyd fought, there was going to be a crowd of people out there that was going to be disappointed with the fight, because none of them have done anything crazy that stood out, you know? I mean, I think if the Triple G fight will probably be the biggest one because that fight is at middleweight. You know, if he were to fight Golovkin at middleweight and Golovkin is on a 20 knockout streak or whatever. So that fight is a lot bigger. Even though Golovkin hasn't fought big names, he's fought bigger fighters, you know, because he's at a bigger division, because he's a bigger fighter himself. But like Khan is like, he's had some good wins. He's fought some good, you know, guys, but he hasn't fought any of these undefeated guys, you know. And that's the problem. And you know, now that Floyd picked Andre Berto, I mean, everybody's upset about that fight. But at the same time, it's like, you know, Khan, you should have really just beaten one of these welterweights. You should have really fought like Thurman when you fought Algieri instead of fighting Algieri. You know, you should have fought one of those guys. You should have fought Kell Brook, you know, because you fought Kell Brook. He's undefeated. And if you hold the title, that will give you more leverage on why you deserve to fight over the next guy. You know, whereas you're trying to sneak around and you're sitting here jumping from side to side. You know, I'm going to be fighting this guy over here. Now I'm going to go over and try to fight Manny Pacquiao, you know, and then maybe if that don't work, I'm going to fight Kell Brook. You know, if you just beat the best opponents in your division, there will be no argument. It'll be indisputable on who you should be facing next. You should be facing the top dog if you beat all the little dogs right under him. But since you're just skipping around and fighting, I'll fight a soft touch like Chris Algieri, and then not look impressive winning, no one's going to sit here and defend you. Yes, he should have got it over Andre Berto, but there's people feel that still was a cherry pick for Floyd Mayweather. Get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. You know, Khan, hopefully he gets the Pacquiao fight because I think that is a good fight. I don't know if Pacquiao's going to come right back into it fighting Amir Khan. I don't know if he's going to do the whole I'm going to take a softer touch type of thing, you know. I don't know. You know, it could really definitely be Amir Khan. I don't know if it's going to be, you know, like a Saddam Ali, which is, some people probably consider that to be a soft touch. And I don't really think so because I think Saddam Ali is pretty good. I don't think he's Manny Pacquiao good, but, you know, I think Pacquiao might fight him on his first fight back. I really don't know what Pacquiao's going to do. But that would be a good fight, you know, and hopefully we get to see Kell Brook fight next year. And hopefully we see if Kell Brook beats Diego Chavez. I would like Kell Brook to fight somebody. But if he knows he's going to get the Khan fight at Wembley, he's probably going to get another easy, soft touch before he fights Amir Khan. So it's like everybody's doing the same thing. Let's do a couple soft touches so we can possibly get that big fight. But when the big fight doesn't happen, they're like, all right, let me do a couple more soft touches until I get that next big fight. You know, because he's so afraid. Khan is afraid of losing before he gets the fight that he really wants. He's not like one of those guys that I know I could run through all of these guys. He's like, you know what? The risk is too much worth it's not worth the reward. But the reward can actually solidify your spot at the top of the welterweight division. He's not looking at it that way. He's looking at it like, I don't want to fight this guy because if I lose, this guy's going to be a star from beating me. And then they're going to get the fight that I've been trying to get the fight, you know, that I've been trying to get. And that's the way he look at, like when he looks at Danny Garcia. I'm sure he looks at Danny Garcia. It's like, look, Danny Garcia got big off beating me, you know, and a few other fighters like a Matisse, you know, Zab, but he got big from knocking me out. I don't want another guy to come in and knock me out like a Keith Thurman and then I'm stuck. You know, Floyd would never fight me. Pacquiao would never fight me because I got knocked out by this guy, you know. So I know the way he's looking at. Plus, he's big on fame. Amir Khan, let's be honest, he cares about being famous over here. He cares about that too. So he's an opportunist, in my opinion. I think he's a very good fighter, but he's too afraid of losing to a point where he's really he's cherry picking his way to the big fight, you know. Instead of just climbing the ladder, he's just like picking like, all right, let me, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he fought like before he knows he's getting a fight, I wouldn't be surprised if he fought like a Guerrero or somebody that you just know Khan is gonna beat. Anyway, that's my thought. I don't want to speak too long on it, but